If enough people call for changes, including through groomingangjustice.uk, will the Prime Minister please assure us that the final terms of reference will reflect these concerns? The Prime Minister has
Keir Starmer of England cannot handle it. He just walks out. When is he going to learn?
The government's proposed terms of reference for the inquiry into rape and grooming gangs are fatally flawed, as victims and survivors have pointed out. They won't address the role that race and religion played in motivating these crimes. They won't lead to prosecutions for those involved in the cover-up. And they won't even investigate all cases, only a select few. The consultation on these terms ends this Friday. If enough people call for changes, including through groomingangjustice.uk, will the Prime Minister please assure us that the final terms of reference will reflect these concerns?
Forgive me if I don't take suggestions from the honourable member who said people legally and settled here should go home to ensure that the UK is culturally coherent. That is a grotesque way to talk about our friends and neighbours, and I rather suspect that her next question will come from her sitting up there.
Point forward to Katie Lamb.
The Prime Minister has On a point of order, Mr. Speaker, I believe the Prime Minister has inadvertently misled the House. I seek your guidance on how to get him to correct the record for claiming I said something I, in fact, did not.
Wow, what a sight to be seen when Keir Starmer leaves abruptly because he can't handle the heat. The subject at hand was what's going on with the gangs in England and who's cracking down on them and who's grooming them. And it's been an ongoing discussion of, has England lost its soul? What happened to the great British Empire when the great British Empire was at its glory? And they look down through the annals of history and you ask yourself a question. Is this what the founding fathers of Britain had in mind? They have brought up the questions on time and time again. Why hasn't the Prime Minister joined the US and Israeli forces in protecting England from the onslaught of Iran? They have so much more at risk than America does by a neighboring terrorist-sponsored nation as Iran. Right now, America and Israel is doing the world its biggest favor. It's fighting its war. But more than the world, how about Europe? Why isn't England rolling out the red carpet and offering America everything it needs? Not only permission to use its airspace or its air bases finally, but join in a partner in protecting your country, protecting your homeland. We've seen what's happened to England since your immigration policies has gone awry. We've seen the terrible gang rapes and the horrible violence. No one can forget the 7/7 attack that happened on your country. It's just a little taste of what's coming unless the world comes together and we eradicate this evil that lives amongst us. We here in America are taking note of what's happening to England, what's happening to France. When you let your guard down and in the name of woke, of liberalism, you just allow anyone and everyone to come into your country to create havoc and to create death and carnage. This is what's happening when immigration goes totally amok and unchecked. Immigration is a very kind gesture of any country to be hospitable, to welcome any immigrant who's seeking asylum to come for a better life. That is absolutely a kindness that every country should do, but not at the risk of having their own country being destroyed by the same immigrants who are claiming to run away for asylum, but are actually coming here to terrorize you. And this is exactly what's happened in France and in England and here in the United States of America. We saw what happened in Minnesota with the Somalia refugees. We thought we understood that these are refugees who are seeking asylum because they want a better life for themselves. And when you come to a country, and when your host country is kind enough to open its doors to you, the least you can do is to be law-abiding citizens. The least you can do is to be able to help your country that hosted you and be a good guest and be a kind guest and make your life better, make the country lives better, versus coming to a country to take advantage of it and funnel billions of dollars to terrorist organizations who are terrorizing us and the world. You are not a guest. You are a hostile that don't deserve to be here. You did not come here in peace. You came here in war. I cannot forget the images when the Jews fleeing the World War II, arriving at Ellis Island, just watching them get down on their knees and kissing the ground of the United States of America, the land of the free. These Jewish refugees didn't come here as victims, they came here as pioneers. Although they suffered the worst type of suffering humanity can suffer, they did not look backwards, they looked forward. They didn't ask, what can America do for us, but what can we do for America? These Jewish refugees roll up their sleeves with the sweat of their brow. They worked 80 plus hours a week to try to rebuild themselves and their families and to contribute to America as much as possible. And those Jewish refugees have truly risen to become great pioneers who taught us all what it means to come from the worst of scenarios and bring it to the best. In contrast, the refugees who came here with ill intent, who are destroying our country and destroying the fiber of our country, and is not allowing us to live in freedom, is what we cannot tolerate and allow. They should gracefully be offered a chance to go back home where they came from if they don't want to be here as gracious guests. And this is what happened in England. We see where Sharia law is becoming much more prominent throughout neighborhoods in England and London, Manchester, and whatnot. We know what's happening in France. It's frightening. I'm sure they're asking themselves the question now, why do we do this? It's not too late. Be strong, be bold. Be peaceful, but peace through power only. God bless you. God loves you.